Welcome to the May 2023 edition of Coffee with Kehoe, Insights into Strategic Technology in the State of Washington. And with me today is a special guest, Nick Stowe, our newly appointed Chief Technology Officer for Washington Technology Solutions at WaTech and the State of Washington. Welcome, Nick.
Thank you.
Why don't you begin by telling us about yourself, your career, and what led you to the CTO role?
Before I worked at WaTech, I was the CIO for two different agencies. And I think when you work in the state and you work in a state agency, you're so close to services that get delivered to residents or communities that they really value that you really can't not want to do more of it.
What do you think the CTO role, how does that set us up in the state of Washington and within WaTech? Why is that an important role now and when you look to the future of the state?
The pace and growth of technology is so pervasive, positively and negatively. It's kind of like the force. It has so much opportunity to do good for people, but also so many risks to be aware of and to manage. And in the face of having such a growth in technology, you really need central leadership on different disciplines of technology.
All right, so let's shift to your new division, architecture and innovation. Two very important words. Mm-hmm. So how did this new division come about? Tell us about, the intentional use of architecture and innovation, and tell us about your team and the functions within the division.
So I will start with the name itself. Architecture really is the discipline of making good decisions and connecting disparate things. If you look at modern architectural frameworks and modern approaches to architecture, they all focus on people, process, and technology. And I think the best examples of enterprise architecture that I've seen is where someone can say, this change in legislation is going to impact our customers in this way, and it's going to increase the cost for me to deliver this service by 1.5 times. That understanding of dependencies, the understanding of decisions that you make and how they're going to impact your business, that is the discipline of architecture. A lot of architecture disciplines focus on what are known as principles. The most famous one or the most commonly used one is the principle of reuse. On the innovation side, I think before I worked in the state of Washington, I didn't understand the power of innovation. I just thought it was a word that people said was important.
It sounds good. CIOs throw that out. We're innovative. Yeah. What does that really mean?
There's no internationally agreed to definition of innovation. The best one I've ever heard is the novel way of solving a problem. Technology innovation being the novel application of technology to solve a problem.
So we have a couple key strategic initiatives that you and your team are very, very critical in terms of us achieving success. But talk about connected government, which we had a coffee with Kehoe on many months ago. And the role of your new division and some of the initiatives that really are critical to us achieving that.
Connecting government and connecting services that are going to impact our residents in a positive way is it's the fiber of our name, so it's a part of everything that we do. Every program that's included within the Architecture and Innovation Division, so that's the Legacy and Innovation Fund, Enterprise Architecture, Cloud, Open Data, Enterprise Data Management, and GIS. Every single one of those programs has a statewide perspective and is focused on connecting agencies. Maybe it's connecting their sets of data. It may be enabling their ability to connect with each other through having a modern shared hybrid multi-cloud service. It may be literally through the discipline of enterprise architecture where we seek to empower reuse and empower connection between different agencies. Every one of those programs has a focus on connecting agencies together to better deliver services to our residents. Now, as you mentioned, there are several really critical statewide initiatives that are focused on advancing the outcomes that we associate with connected government. So the first one is our Resident Identity and Access Management Initiative. And that's making it easy for residents to identify themselves and authenticate themselves to consume services throughout the state. Another really important initiative is what we're doing with data management. And so in enterprise data management, we have a couple of areas that I mentioned earlier, open data and geospatial, where we have an established kind of statewide program with statewide services that we do still want to mature to better serve residents and better serve agencies. But there's a gap there in having an enterprise approach to data management. Have a better way for agencies to take the data that they care about, apply the proper privacy and security controls, and then share it with other agencies to be able to better affect their outcomes. The other one is the Enterprise Cloud Computing Initiative. And in order to do anything that I just said, either in identity and access management or in data, we have to have a modern cloud-based infrastructure that allows our data to be flexible and allows our technology infrastructure and applications to serve up data that helps us improve the services to our residents.
So this is all fantastic stuff. I know that some people would say, well, the state of Washington has tried some of these things before. And, it's a federated state. Every agency has their own mission and purpose. How can we bring agencies together towards this vision and ensure that they're inspired and they're participating in this vision, which I think is so important in how we serve our residents in the state of Washington, so that they don't have to understand our organizational chart and our acronyms for each of our agencies, and can go to one front door eventually and easily navigate to the services and information they need. But how do we pull the state together? I think that's one of our challenges. One of your challenges is CEO.
Yeah, one of my challenges. Number one, I think it starts with the grounding on bettering the lives of people in Washingtonians. On top of that, there are several recent examples of what I would call extreme statewide collaboration that we need to continue to build on. The other thing that I think is really important that we've focused on here at WaTech is using governance forums as a way to enable and inspire collaboration. We just had a really successful strategic planning workshop where all these architects from multiple agencies got together to identify what are our shared pain points and our shared problems that we all agree we would like to solve together.
Excellent. So we could go on for a lot longer, but I really appreciate you being here today and for your insight. And we thank you for all that you do for WaTech in the state. And congratulations on your new role. You're going to be busy, but what an important role that is for the future of our state. So
thank you.